Okay, so, abrupt battle here. I want to show this off because, um, it's, yes, this is an enemy I've not gotten an item from yet, and to answer your question, I am actually grinding here for a lot of money. Um, but then I noticed something. Like, I saved after I killed this thing, and look what happens. I mean, right? I mean, yeah, it does that, like last time when I reload the save state. Everyone goes in this order. And look what it drops. Thief's Vest. But only when I do those actions, though. Watch what happens when Haikiri specifically uses a potion. Everyone does same action turn. It does not drop the vest. Now watch what happens when I specifically don't kill it. Don't care, don't care. I specifically don't kill it, and then I attack it. Yeah, that is proof right there that I can actually manipulate when enemies can drop items. Like, I'm pretty sure I did it for one enemy once, but it just would not do it. I mean, yeah, the chances are low anyway, so yeah, that wasn't a very valid test. But yeah, there's the Thief's Vest. If I wanted to, I could try to do this with Neochu, who drops Genji gloves. I fought like 4 of these fuckers, as you can see. Not one of them dropped the gloves yet. Anyway, while I'm here, might as well show the... What enemy am I missing here? I don't know, but I'll look afterwards. Might as well look at the enemies that I've encountered newly. Sure is a Hagen Prince. This sure is an elemental. Yep, it's weak to ice, not lightning. Remember, it's in the original too. They're weak to ice. You gotta freeze them. You don't zap them, you freeze them. And here's the Kraken. And sure enough, he's weak to time. Like, it doesn't say stun, it just says time. I have no idea how time works as an element. Yeah, look at that attack power, 190. And 102 intelligence, but we didn't witness any of his magic. Yep, they dropped these vests, which is going to be in the next dungeon I go to. Okay, now, I'm level 42. Yeah, that's how long I was spent grinding here, and the amount of money as well. I need to grind 675,000 gil in order to purchase every single spell missing from all of them. I don't need them now, and I don't want to bother with grinding, so you know what? It could happen after I actually do the 4th Fiend dungeon, I feel. So let's go ahead and do that. So while on my way there, I might as well describe, like, why I want people to ask me questions, like, why can't I give myself questions to answer or something, or take from chat and come up with questions there, Discord that is. I'm doing this because it's almost impossible for me to explain myself without being asked first. Like, basically the only way I can open up is that if I'm asked questions, because lately I've been having memory problems, and therefore if I try to ask myself something, I just can't remember. I just my brain won't let me. Whereas if someone else asks me, sure, my first response is, this is not where I'm supposed to be. Sure, my first immediate response is, I don't remember, but then I actually think about it, and this is somehow different from me asking myself, but someone else asking me, immediate answer, I don't know, but then I immediately think deeply, and I somehow remember now. Not really fully, mind you, but like most of it. Then I can actually thoroughly explain and answer your question. And that is why I want you guys to ask me questions rather than me coming up with questions myself. Anyway, here's Lufania. home of the Lufanians. If you came here without the help of Dr. Un, then you would not understand a single word these guys said, and they all say the same thing for some reason. These are also known as the Sky People. Yeah, built by Sid. Do you know Sid? Of course you do! Unless you've never played Final Fantasy at all, then you don't know who Sid is. Sid must be in every single Final Fantasy game, and he always has to do with something of the airship. Must always have something to do with it. Sid doesn't actually exist in Final Fantasy 1, hence why you don't ever see him. He's only mentioned by name here. No one even mentions Sid in NES or Origins, for that matter. So anyway, talking to these people, they're all like, yeah, they sure are sky people. They built mechanical castles flying in the sky. And yeah, they're very prosperous about the Sky Temple and mechanical. Get that right out of here. Can I get rid of it with that? Yeah, I can. Like, they have some interesting folklore. Like, specifically 400 years ago. I mean, they even say that there's like 5 warriors who, yeah, but they never returned. Now, where could they be? Yep. Never heard from them. Now, right here. This right here says that Tiamat is actually a girl. I've always thought Tiamat was a boy, a male, but no, she's female. All 6 of them. Why do I say 6 of them? You'll see. So that's what happened to them. Do you remember a place where there were specifically 5 bats? Maybe you'll see in a bit. Anyway, we talked to this sky person, and we've obtained the chime. With this chime, we can now enter the Mirage Tower. Now, what say we go to Mirage Tower? But first, let's at least show the shops here. And yeah, you can just loop here. I wonder how many people just don't know that you can do this. Like, this is the most hidden shop in the game, really. And it houses the best spells in the game. But as I found out, there's one level 8 spell missing from each set. The level 8 spell missing here is Arise, which is basically full life, which means it's basically life, but you restore all HP. And that is what I wanted to teach to Haikiri here. I'm not sure if I want to buy anything now. Actually, screw it. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Like, we're here. We need all the offense we need. I'll spend at least that much. And for Umber here, you know what I'm gonna buy for him. Nuke. I'm just gonna nuke everything. Like, this spell is called Nuke in NES, and for good reason. Like, of course it does the most damage in the game. Now, Holy here has the same power as Diaga. It costs us very slightly more, and really the only difference is that it can hit anything. Which really, yeah. That's why you should get Holy over Diaga. And I've been thinking about whether I want Diaga. I've actually thought about it, and I honestly don't think it's worth it. Like, the MP cost of Holy is so little more by so little that I think Holy is like, just overall better to get. So anyway, I need to grind for enemies here. Well, not grind for enemies, but like there's like one specific enemy. Well, actually 2 that I've never encountered. One of them in particular is actually really rare. I'll mention it when I see another enemy of its kind. And this enemy, I believe, is 1 in 64, although the README doesn't mention it. Okay, so remember Allosaurus? I don't know if I ever defeated one of these. Actually, I did, actually. I did. However, there's another enemy just like it. It's called Tyrannosaurus. Tyranitar. And it has a 1 in 64 chance of spawning. At least in the NES and Origin, at least in the original versions. Here I don't know if that's the case. I'm just gonna assume it's 1 in 64. But the README doesn't mention it, so either it's 3 in 64, not specifically 2 in 64. I don't think any enemy is 2 in 64. It's like, it's either 1 in 64 or 3 in 64. But, I'm just gonna assume it's 1 in 64, and that enemy is going to be quite a bitch to get to spawn in. While I'm grinding here a bit, well, I might change my mind very soon. Yeah, and you know what, never mind. I might as well just cut till I get it, because, you know, this game is like pretty much more the same at this point, so after this, I'll just cut here. Because who wants to watch me do nothing but basically this? Not even I do, honestly. Like, at least not anymore. I used to find this enjoying. But when, like, every single video becomes 50 minutes because of it, it's not fun anymore. Especially when no enemy will just frickin' die. Okay, I will see you when I actually encounter the enemy I'm seeking. There we go, it didn't take that long at all. See? Tyrannosaur. Not too much to say about it other than that it is slightly stronger and more bulky. That's really all that there is to it. I don't know if it has anything up in its sleeve, not that it has any sleeve, but I'm going to guess that it's about as beastly as a Tyranitar. These things are kind of like Dragonites, which they have the same attack power as Tyranitars, but in my opinion, Tyranitars are more beastly because they're more adept at using physical attacks. But enough talk about Pokemon. Well, actually, speaking of Pokemon, I've mentioned this in BA Part 7, I think. But I have found a new way to really experience the Pokemon first generation. Like, you know how in first gen, like, English gets red, blue, yellow, and Japan gets red, green, blue, and yellow, and green was basically blue, and blue was something totally different? Well, I found, like, hacks or mods that basically, with the blue ROM, one of them turns it into green with the original experience, but without the nasty bugs and glitches, of course. And another that transforms blue into Japan blue, but translated. And these two hacks are really, really nice to have if you want to relive the Japan experience, but without the nasty glitches. I highly recommend them. I'm not going to link to them in this video, because I'm not playing Pokemon here, I'm playing frickin' Final Fantasy. And just, yeah, also this enemy's still not dead. Like the other 20 that had this problem. They're just HP sponges. And yet we've not seen what this thing's made. Well, now we've seen what this thing's made of. It's basically as useless as a Allosaurus. I have basically no knowledge about dinosaurs other than that they're frickin' dinosaurs. I only know the basic knowledge of them, really. You know, the basic knowledge of, you know, they lived like millions of eons ago. Stuff like that. I only know that much. Wait, let's take a look at this thing, see what it drops. If it drops something important, I'm gonna have to grind for it. There's the missing entry. Oh, I didn't encounter this thing. I swear I've defeated it once. Okay, so it drops a razor. It has weakness dice. I don't think we have a razor. This just drops a strength plus. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of HP. And experience, though. So basically I'm going to grind these enemies out eventually. I'm not going to do that here, because the odds of doing those is, like, extremely low. So enough blathering along, let's finally head out to the Mirage Tower, which is in this gigantic... I mean, look at how big this desert is. Like, it's so big, you can so easily get lost, especially in the NES version, where everything looks so much like the same person all the time. Another Tyrannosaur. It drops Strength Plus, so I'm not gonna bother with it. Anyway, this Mirage Tower, I don't know what happens if you don't have the chime, but you don't even need to play the chime. And you just go inside it. I don't know what happens when you don't have the chime. I don't know if it just actually disappears like an actual mirage, or if the game just says, oh, this place is sealed. Oh, this place is invisible. I just don't know. So, Mirage Tower, here. I wouldn't call it infamous, but it's a really small dungeon. It's only quite of a big dungeon if you let it. Really. And yeah. Medusas, I can't remember what you're weak to. I really can't. But let me tell you, as soon as I can... Where's Stona? Oh, it's right here. But let me tell you, as soon as I can get a certain piece of equipment here, you bet my party will be overpowered. I am so glad half my team's weak to stone. Imagine if they weren't. I have a rotten time here. Let's see how much Holy does, because for this video I'm only planning to be in the Mirage Tower and not much more other than what I've already shown. We've already seen Medusas and such, so I don't need to really show them again. And we've not seen... Why did that Sabertooth took like 1,000 damage? Don't die, please. Do not die. I want everyone to get the exact same amount of experience, please. Just waste your turn. Stun it, please. Thank you. Now I don't have to worry. Now we kill you. Not before we do a priest staff, which Haikiri didn't get off. Everyone's experience is still the same, right? Yeah, good. But yeah, this dungeon is only long if you let it. And by let it, I mean if you get, like, all the treasure. Crystal Shield? Don't you get that in the bonus dungeons? Definitely saving that. Not equipping it now, because I don't think it's going to do it. Purple Edge, I'll see what that is later. Maybe off screen even. Ooh, Black Knights. So, I know these guys so much. Like, they are weak to poison, I believe, because they're humans. They're humans. They're evil. And just, yeah, they're basically things that have basically no weakness. They're just a overall challenge to fight for common enemies, but they are evil. And funny thing though about these guys, that, well, at least to me, in NES, these guys are just called Bad Man. They're bad man. And in the NES, these guys, the graphics of these guys, they look like ants. Which is really hilarious. Nothing more to those guys, just be decently equipped and they're not really that much of a threat. They're only really a threat when they're in groups. But in this case, they're not in the groups. Phase 1 by himself, they're hilariously weak. Excuse me. Not much gil being earned from these chests. But hey, that's RPGs for you. You gotta have like 18 billion chests, all with certain different amounts of gold. And then you complain, why can't they just put all the money in just one chest? You gotta build a suspense. So, anyway. While I'm in here, I might as well tell a little story. Oh, chimeras. Okay, story aside. Chimeras are another enemy I know well, and I'm sure literally every single one of you know well. And if you don't, chimeras are basically this thing. But I particularly know chimeras as being... Yeah, they have 3 different types of heads, a snake, a lion, and an eagle. They're I guess they're quadrupedal, although in Final Fantasy X they're bipedal. I think they're weak to Blizzard. I'm not sure. I better stun them. They're mainly fire breathers, I think. Like, they have 3 heads, but they breathe fire, and really only fire. In future games, they could breathe more stuff. But here it's just frickin' fire. And it's another frickin' variation of Blaze. Like, literally every single fire-based enemy has. Like, not Breath, not Flamethrower, it's called Blaze. Couldn't use the extra 2 bites. That would have been too difficult. We've not encountered every unique enemy here yet, but I'll try my best to tell a story now. Okay. So, a few days ago, I went grocery shopping. I know, boring story already, because who likes the story of grocery shopping? But, this one was particularly interesting, because, I was on this bus ride, and there was this family who came on with a whole bunch of kids. Already a problem, because I don't do well with kids. I do my best to behave, but I don't want any of them near me. Especially since they're so misbehaved nowadays. Like, one kid in particular, as he was leaving, coughed directly towards me without covering his covering his mouth. And, yeah. That's a problem. Thankfully, I did not get sick. But what was particularly interesting is that, even though they had no baby, there was a stroller. Gonna explain these enemies later. There was a stroller, and, when they were about to leave, like, about 2 minutes, I looked at the stroller, and I noticed something crawling on it. Sorry, my throat's getting kind of dry. But yeah, I know something crawling on it. I was like, was it a bug I saw earlier? Was it a bug outside when I was standing outside? Was it that same bug? Did it follow me somehow? It wasn't. It was a frickin' roach. And, instead of freaking out, I kept quiet. Because I don't want to cause an uproar or anything. I honestly should have. Because who wants roaches anywhere? And when they left to pick up the stroller, of course there was like 2 baby roaches in its wake. And I killed them immediately. And the lady was like, oh, did I miss something? And I was like, it's nothing. So, yeah. I kind of panicked from here on out. Constantly frisking myself, like, do I have any on me? Do I have any on me? Like, I saw a roach on the stroller. Did any baby roaches crawl off the stroller while I wasn't looking? Like, the whole time, when I was at the superstore, or just waiting for a bus, or sitting on another bus, I was just panicking the whole time. I was panicking so much that I had no recollection of what things to get that everyone asks me to get. Like, I tried to calm myself down, but no, it was a huge failure. I have no time for you. So yeah, on the way back, I was on the bus back home, that is, when I came in to sit, guess what I noticed? 2 more roaches. I then asked, I asked the driver, was this specific family, I explained all the details, was this specific family on the bus? He said yes. You bet I panicked more. Thankfully, no more than 2 roaches were on that bus. No more, no less. Yeah, I was just looking back and forth, looking underneath everything and such. I'm not having any of it. Those of you who watch pretty much most videos up to this point pretty much know that we have roaches around here. But lately, I've seen 0. Actually, during the whole winter, I kid you not, I've seen in total 2 around the house. Just 2. That's it. The last one I've seen was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So yeah, you bet I'm not having any of it. Anything else interesting happened during that? Oh, as a note, the place this family left off to when they got off the bus was a restaurant, and you bet my mind went to, okay, that can't be good for the restaurant. Specifically Wendy's, I think. Yeah, you bet that can't be good. Okay, no more of this. That's basically the whole thing. Maybe I could tell more interesting shopping stories. Although there's not much interesting. Like, there's so little stories I find interesting. That's also another reason why I don't open up. Like, unless people ask me questions, unless I know they're interested in the subjects, I will not tell them. I see. So, I guess I'll start with shopping, because it's on my mind, pretty much. Also, these enemies, I'm pretty sure they show up in the next dungeon, so I'll explain these guys later, I suppose. There was one shopping trip, like, it was the one before the Roach one, where, there was this old man creepily staring at me. I tried my best staying away from him. Like, I specifically went far away as him from possible, but also in a spot where no one would mind me packing up stuff, because the only way I can carry groceries is with a frickin' cart. And I always overflow the cart. I always overestimate how much I can actually carry. Really? I'm doing 5 damage? Like, I always have to not only carry the cart, which is frickin' heavy, but also like 3 or 4 bags in my other hand. Sometimes a bag in the hand I'm carrying the cart with, which basically overflows the cart, and I have to walk really weird. Wow, do these Guardians have 255 defense? I mean, I guess. They're freaking robots. Anyway, yeah, this old man came up to me, even though I was far away from him. He asked for my receipt. You bet I refused. Why? Why do you want my receipt? You do not work here. He did not have the attire. He did not look like he actually does work there, even without the attire. Just get out of here. You're creepy. I don't want you. I don't want you in my face. And there's that trip. For the record, I usually go shopping alone. Like, I am old enough but sometimes someone has to come with me because A, I can't remember Jack, and B, I can't carry that much stuff. And C, the person who comes with me is pretty much the only person who knows what they want. Example, my sister. She eats like 5 things, and I don't know them. And these 5 things changes like every week, or every day, every hour, every minute. So, even if she does come with me, even she doesn't know what she wants. I don't know what she wants. No one knows what she wants. But, yeah, that's a problem. I don't know what you call this situation. If anyone knows, please tell me, because I would like to look up such a situation. I don't think there's any more interesting stories to tell. So you know what, I'm just gonna end it there. And just explain the enemies we haven't seen before. Like this Vampire Lord here. Vampire Lords are the Lord of Vampires. They're basically what Mummy Kings are to mummies. They have more HP, more attack power, more pretty much everything, but Vampire Lords, yeah, they, like, hurt a whole lot, but they can also cast spells that basically make one immune to fire. Or not immune to fire, but, like, resist fire. See, there... That was Blaze. You know, the spell that makes everybody breathe fire. You know, that. So that's a really effective Holy. I'm glad I got Holy. Like, I'm really happy now. Gotta share Flare at some point. And I can see that they have double the defense. You know, instead of casting Fire Red, let's just cast Yes. Let's cast Yes. And I'm pretty sure you're better off using this sword. I mean, I guess that... One-shot my party? Did you see that? It nearly one-shot my entire party with just one level 2 spell. What the hell was that? I'm now dreading what is to come in the next dungeon. Which is immediately after this, for the record. Like, what the hell was that? Also, did I even get the piece of equipment I got here? Like, you get it in Mod of Bounds at least, and you got it in the original, but do you even get it here? Do you get it here? Do you get it? Oh, I get it. I get it. It got replaced by the Crystal Shield. The armor piece I'm looking for is the Aegis Shield, by the way. Or Angeus Shield, as I used to call it. No, it's called Aegis Shield, as I learned. Apparently hard mode, you don't get that. The Aegis Shield... If you don't know the Aegis Shield, it's basically a mirror shield that was used to defeat Medusa. Because it's a mirror, the bearer got Medusa to look at the shield, therefore it looks at herself. Yeah, the Aegis Shield protects against petrification. Is what I'm saying. I guess now I can explain Guardians. Okay, Guardians... Yeah, they're robots. And because they're robots, they're weak to lightning. And as we found out in hard mode, they have ludicrous defenses against even my paladin. Also, can I just ask a question right now? Why is why does everyone ask what's a paladin? And they don't ask that because they're curious, they ask that because apparently it's a meme. Like, why? I don't get it. I just don't. Speeding up the fight. Like, we've seen Guardians before, I could either just cut this or just speed it up. I'm just gonna choose to speed it up. They don't have that much HP, but they are robots. They're apparently made of diamonds, apparently, because not even my warrior can slice them in two. I would like to at least defeat one Vampire Lord. Okay, so as we now know Vampire Lords can, like, kill your party in, like, one shot. So by all means, let's nuke it. Nuke it. Just like we would a Rakshasa or cat or a man-cat. Just nuke it. Get the hell out of here. They do, like, no damage physical-wise. It's their magic that's the problem. Okay, that was the animation for nuke, by the... No, that was the animation for nuclear, by the way. Nuclear is basically a special enemy's unique skill. I'm gonna guess that Ultima actually has the animation for flare. Anyway, you get right the hell out of here right now. You need to die. You keep hitting Naito with physical hits. Wow, my physical hits do nothing. Oh my goodness, get out of here. Just nuke it. Well, fire's gonna be useless now. Jeez, hitting it physical-wise does nothing when it regions. There we go, gosh dang. And it drops a Vampire Fang, so grinding out vampires was pointless, but I did get a ton of money out of it. Cure everybody, because it... Is this game running slower than usual? And only Naito need to be cured. Good. Anyway, let's just... Quickly head on to the third floor. Yay, Hellhounds, you do like no damage. I can just do setup and just not care at all and just do the free heal. And your bites do like nothing compared to your flamethrower, which is even more pitiful. You suck. Here's third floor, which I guess is the most dangerous because it's the frickin' top floor. More dangerous. It has one less Hellhound, and that is it. That is all the enemies that are here. So, third floor is the easiest. Okay, game's done. There's no more worse enemies than this. No thanks. I mean, I don't mind the regular vampires because they do like nothing. Anyways, just save here because... Can you guess what's in this room? And guess why I saved? Forced encounter with the blue dragon. Okay, now in at least the original versions of the Final Fantasy, this is the most threatening dragon. But it only appears here, and specifically here is the only time you'll ever see blue dragon. So you can just grind them out, of course. I have no idea what they're weak to, but I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy II logic and say Bio, because for some reason lightning and poison contradict each other, I guess. I don't know. I know Gas Dragon's weak to Arrow now, but I actually tried Arrow against Green Dragons and only did like 200 damage, so Ice Sword actually is better. The main reason this guy sucks, if we can give him a chance to unleash his attacks. Also, I could stun him, but I want to at least show his attacks. We're gonna heal off shortly after this anyway, so yeah. So at least give him a chance. You just cast Comet, I guess. Just nuke this thing. Yeah, it has Thunderbolt. It has the 65 accurate. It has the 95 power, 100 accuracy. No, that's not what it is. But yeah, Thunderbolt is basically poison gas and blaze and whatever every dragon uses ever. But yeah, it's lightning elemental, so if you have diamond armor, then yeah, you can defend it, but it is basically the most powerful of all dragons' breaths, basically. So if you're not prepared, this guy will actually kick your ass, and this guy has the most attack power and HP of all the dragons. So yeah, there you go. Just defend against lightning and you're good. And if you don't, this guy will punish you. Thankfully, there's only one can appear at a time, so technically by my standards, green dragons are still more threatening. Because they love to show up, and they love to show up in groups. And yeah. Just like every dragon, they sure can drop elixirs. Just like literally every dragon except the zombie dragon. So let's review the enemies we've seen so far. Black Knight. They can drop enhancers. We don't have that yet. And yeah, they're weak to poison, just like I said. They resist blind, apparently. Chimeras. They drop ethers. Good. Yep, I was right. They're weak to ice. Guardians. Yeah, they have monster defenses, but they have, like, no attack power, so they're not threatening at all. And they're really only weak to lightning. And here's Blue Dragon. It sure is a dragon. Really, this dragon has no weakness, so yeah, this guy is an asshole. Oh, vampire lore, can't forget that. Oh, jeez! 250 intelligence? No wonder it one-shot me. But it is weak to mute. Do I even have mute? I don't. Shouldn't I have gotten it? I'm not changing my mind, hell no. So yeah, here's where you will need... This is where the warp cube comes into play. If you don't have it, good luck finding it. It's in the waterfall. If you don't know where the waterfall is, well then, if you don't know where the waterfall is and you've talked to everybody and you're still not sure, well then, you're probably not paying attention. But anyway, next time in Final Fantasy, we will take this warp. Actually, we're taking this warp right now. Next time in Final Fantasy, we're going to explore the Flying Fortress. And oh my goodness, this music. Just listen to it for a few seconds while I say the outro. We will explore this place. At least the first half of it. And only the first half of it. Like, this dungeon is actually very short. But I say the first half of it because... yeah, there's another 1 in 64 enemy here. And this is probably the most infamous enemy in the entire game, and I will not say who it is. I've hinted towards it in this very episode. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.